You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a colding gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn, your pawn, your pawn. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay with cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Welcome, everybody. 1 second, folks. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Let me make sure I say hi to everybody. Wolfglen, welcome. Mouselander, welcome. Heat, how's it going? Kirkenstein's Monster, how's it going? Michael Hassler. Joe, welcome. B-Cat. Sammy. Soul Life. Welcome, everybody. Winnie Rose, welcome. It's finally live for real this time, yes. Yes, we are live. Sorry about that, folks. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Waxing Philosophical, welcome. I think I got everyone. Bad Lefty, welcome. How are you? I'm hanging in there. Soul Life brought a few surfers. Well, I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for being my first Substack. No problem. Thank you. All right, folks. Before we get started, couple of things. A couple of things. This Thursday, there were hundreds of surfers at first, but they all got impatient. Aw, that's unfortunate. It's okay. Ladybug, welcome. This Thursday, the stream may be tentative. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Wednesday, it is possible that we will do a repeat of Left Past 10. World's on fire. Yep. My bowl's on fire. Nice. Yeah, it was literally like 3 minutes. It'll be alright. It's okay. No problem. So, yeah, Thursday the stream is tentative. And Wednesday will be most likely on left past 10. Those of you who know, follow the Letter Hack or subscribe to the Letter Hack. And I know because I played half a Tool song. Ha! Tool is the shit. Hard Eyes comes out on Thursday on Netflix. Nice. It is nice. I've been there on there a lot lately. Yeah, I've gone a couple of times and it's pretty cool. That guy's a hack. A hack of letters, maybe. Or maybe he's a hacker of letters. Not quite sure. Before we get started, the usual disclaimers, disclosures, announcements, whatever you want to call them. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. You guys are what makes this channel go. Without you, we can't do this. I appreciate it. If you want to show your support, keep doing what you're doing. Like the stream, subscribe. If you're on Twitch, hit the follow button if you haven't done so. Check out the Substack. Join the Discord. And if you want to support the channel directly, check out the merch store and hit !tip. Let's get started. Computer hacking, bow hunting, a guy's gotta have skills. Well, I have news. I have neither of those skills. I have neither of those skills. We're all hacks. I wonder, is Napoleon Dynamite a toxic male? That's a good question. Let's talk about TikTok. And an app.
Thank you, Public Square, for making it so easy to find an adorable little French cafe to go on a date. We are so glad to support businesses that align with our values and that celebrate the freedom that America was built on.
What's up, kids? So I got some interesting information today. Apparently there is a website out there dedicated to MAGA small businesses. It's called publicsquare.com. Yes, all these MAGA businesses can sign up and you can find all their locations on a map provided on the website. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think we take this information and use it in a different way, like businesses not to shop at.
Yeah, like, how did they think that that was gonna play out here, right? Like, you just basically gave us a list of where, like, a list of where not to go. Napoleon, the guy that plays Napoleon Dynamite does kind of remind me a little bit about the way he looks about Andrew Callahan. I saw that he was on PBD. Yes, he was. His application only, as I understand it. Moms going on dates with their children needs to be unnormalized. True. Wait, who does that?
So even though conservatives have been putting us through hell on a daily basis in this country for decades now, I've got to admit that sometimes their stupidity can be a blessing in disguise. And I say that because they inadvertently handed people on the left a really nice gift without even realizing it. What do I mean? So anti-fascists are catching on to a tool that right-wingers have been using for years now to support supposed anti-woke businesses in their communities. But instead of creating a map of so-called woke businesses to avoid, the app in question compiled a database of pro-Trump businesses to support. But the app is not really being used in the way that its creators intended. So if you go to publicsquare.com...
Yeah, so basically, like, in the same way that you can use this app to find fascist, I guess, businesses, you can also use it as a way of avoiding these places. Didn't the woman at the beginning refer to her outing as a date with a baby strapped to her? I may have been confusing chronically online. Oh, I completely missed that. I completely missed that, and I completely misread what you were saying. Matt, welcome. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
You can enter in your zip code and immediately see a list of pro-Trump businesses in your area, and you can effectively choose to avoid these businesses now that you know that they are pro-Trump. And this platform reportedly has more than 50,000 pro-Trump businesses in its database. So through word of mouth on TikTok, Reddit, Facebook, and Instagram, the app is gaining popularity among people on the left and also liberals because of how useful it is to them, because now they know which businesses support fascism and thus know which businesses they should avoid. And the app has blown up to the point where some businesses registered with Public Square are now publicly distancing themselves from the app, as explained by the Seattle TikToker.
So apparently a liberal newspaper a few days before...
That's so funny. What's the matter? You don't like being associated? Grand Theft Autobot, welcome.
Before I posted my video, had called these businesses out by name that I also saw. And this is the Facebook post from Barolo, which is a restaurant downtown, saying, "Oh no, we don't. We didn't. We definitely don't support this. We don't know how this happened." Look, here they are up here. It says, this is not a MAGA supporting business.
Then why are you on a specific site that like basically is for that, you know? I can't believe we're getting GTA Autobots before we're getting GTA 6. At least when he has his first real date, he'll know that the napkin is supposed to go on your lap. It's so embarrassing not knowing in front of everyone as a poor 21-year-old. I didn't know that either, so. And I am not, and I am not old, and I am older than 21. Yeah, they slipped and logged in. Yep. They slipped on that banana peel, you know? They slipped on a banana peel, and their social media person, as they were falling, okay, the only thing that they could grab was the laptop, okay? And as they were falling, they grabbed the laptop and the keys that they were grabbing on, okay, you know, coincidentally typed in, okay, the website name and signed up the business. Okay, that's a real and true thing that happened. I thought it was MAGA or Mega. The internet said it, so it must be true. I'm not understanding. Clothed napkin tucked into my t-shirt collar so I don't ruin my awesome band tee. Yeah, see, I couldn't tell you about etiquette. Well, they have now upset the MAGA folks, and woke folks are thinking they're not telling the truth. Ah, okay. Yeah, the cat walked over the keyboard and applied to the app. It's the same way people accidentally cheat on someone. True.
Cool, wonderful. We love hearing it, right? Like, even if we scared you back into the woodwork, we love hearing it. But here's the thing, we went and we looked at the website. So you have to apply. You have to apply. So like do this. So somebody went in there, put in information. We did not look at the application because we're not going to go in there and put in a bunch of information just to like gather data for these people. But they have to go in and apply. So did you apply? Who applied?
Yeah, they, like I said, you know, it's a totally, it's a totally plausible explanation, you know.
Who was it? Tell me! Essentially just refused to believe that this is just a disgruntled employee being like, I'm going to put you on a MAGA serving website to get back at you somehow. However, it would be smart. But don't do it. That's bad.
So their response is basically, oh, gee golly, we have no idea how we ended up on this MAGA supporting website. We're not Trump supporters. That's not us. But that's not true. They're lying because, as he explained, you have to register your business to get on Public Square, and Public Square vets the companies that apply to ensure that these companies align with and adhere to their conservative principles. So while it's possible that a disgruntled employee could theoretically register their owner's business to burn their boss, there seemingly has to be specific criteria that needs to be met in order to make it on Public Square's database.
Yeah, also, like, you know, this information can be vetted, right? Like, they could be like, okay, well, what email address was used to sign up? Like, who verified the email that's on the profile, right?
As HuffPost explains, its website, which bills itself as the anti-woke online marketplace, is a hub of tens of thousands of businesses nationwide that want people to know they align with MAGA views and oppose so-called progressive priorities like women's reproductive rights and diversity initiatives. In order to list your business on the website, you first have to confirm that you will respect the core values of Public Square and agree to not support causes that are in direct conflict with our core values. Now, I'm not privy to the ways that they gauge how conservative a company is, but HuffPost spoke to a man using Jeff as a pseudonym who found out about Public Square from a bank that he worked at in California, whose lenders were huge MAGA chuds, and they instructed him to try to get their bank on Public Square. And through that, Jeff learned about the process, and while he doesn't know if the bank ever managed to make it on their database, he says that the businesses who are on Public Square are not there by accident. If they're there on purpose. And the reason why they won't just allow anyone on the app is because its owners are actual Trump Kool-Aid drinkers. The Stranger reports Public Square was started up in San Diego in 2021 by Michael Seifert, hardcore Christian fundamentalist and alum of the sometimes accredited Liberty University.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I needed to know, right? Okay, that's all I needed to know. How does Public Square vet businesses? They send a minority person pretending to be a customer and see how the racist they get treated. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that you could just kind of imagine the kind of questions that they would ask in the application, right?
That's the one founded by Jerry Falwell as a right-wing, values-driven alternative to Amazon. Now, HuffPost adds, the company, which officially launched in 2022, has direct connections to Trump, too. Its board of directors includes Donald Trump Jr., who is also an investor. Kelly Loeffler, President Trump's administrator of the Small Business Administration, also was on the board until she was confirmed to her current post in February. So we're talking about some of the biggest names in the Chudoverse, the MAGA cinematic universe. So, I mean, if a business has their blessing, I think it's safe to say that it's not a fluke, which is going to be something to look out for, because now that more people are using the app to boycott, more businesses are going to become a little bit savvier and feign ignorance once they start to lose money, or to stop themselves from losing money. But just know that they're lying. But I mean, these businesses won't be the only ones losing money due to a boycott, because according to HuffPost, Public Square makes commission off of transactions at these businesses, assuming that they sell their merchandise through their online store. So if the app becomes big enough and enough of the companies in their registry are boycotted, they lose money too. Public Square directly loses money because of these boycotts, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their boardroom meetings now, because now that the word is out about the usefulness of this app to anti-fascists, they've got to be panicking. I mean, if you search Public Square on
Heck yeah. I'm looking at the map for that site around Metro Detroit, and there are surprisingly few places. Yeah, the Chudiverse. That's exactly how the application will go. Most small business type shit, like tree cutting, a dude that does heating and cooling, a yoga studio, and a Chinese restaurant, which is kind of weird, and a food truck. Remember, the Supreme Court gave us the right to deny these people the service in the name of religious freedom too. Remember the fake gay wedding cake lady? Yep. True. Even if it Chinese food, I'd eat it even if they were racist. Damn, am I a bad person? Well, there's nothing wrong with the food. Chinese food is good. Some of it.
Reddit. There's so many posts about it in different subreddits for cities and states, including Alaska, Portland, Denver, Nashville, Bend, Charlottesville, Cleveland. It's also mentioned in a lot of liberal and left-leaning subreddits like 5051, Leopards Ate My Face, and even the Joe Rogan subreddit, which has basically been taken over by ex-fans who don't like his right-wing pivot. And on the App Store, the glowing reviews are mostly coming from anti-fascists. At least the more recent reviews are. For example, this person gave it a 5-star review, writing, "I love how simple and easy this app is to use to find local businesses that I and all of my companions need to boycott. I've already found a handful of businesses I wouldn't have expected that I now will never go to again. I can't say anything for the store functionality of this app because I will never ever use it." This person gives it 5 stars as well, saying, "Great app that is easy to find out what businesses support kidnapping citizens to concentration camps, cutting cancer research, destroying the economy, pushing disinformation, and cutting social services for people who pay for them out of their taxes. Thank you for helping us spread awareness to avoid these corrupt, disgraceful businesses pushed by our malignant authoritarian regime." So needless to say, if the app continues to grow for this specific reason, it could become a victim of its own success, ironically, because even though people are using it, they're using it in a way that will lead to its inevitable demise at some point if this continues. Because if these businesses no longer want to be associated with this app and they pull their products off of their store, I mean, then Public Square loses commission. And
Yeah, I mean, like, also, right, you can keep the names, right, of the businesses, right? And then, like, who cares if that app fails, because it's just like another it's just another like business ran by Nazis, right, by fascists. So who cares if Public Square like goes down? Just keep in mind the businesses that were on there, and you can just avoid them. Yeah, avoiding Target is a good idea. If anyone is interested, there is the No Thanks app, which lets you scan barcodes and tell you something when something is attached to Israel, so you can boycott to the best of your own ability. I mean, like, that's cool. That's actually really freaking smart. You know, granted, I know it's difficult, but like, that's pretty cool. That's a useful tool. No Thanks. No Thanks app. Gotcha. Chudlik Square. Yeah, self-sabotaging right-wing businesses. Yep.
the app itself goes bye-bye. But I hope it does stay open for a little bit while longer at least, because it's actually very useful. And I'm happy to find out about all the fascist businesses in my community. I'm not necessarily surprised by how many they are. Nonetheless, they're there, and I will be avoiding them thanks to this app. Thanks, Public Square. But I mean, I want to share one.
Yeah, and it's great because you don't need it to stay open permanently. Like you just need to gather the information, and if it goes, it goes. You know, who cares? I stopped talking to one of my best friends who was the only person that played Souls games with me. Pretty sad, but the dude turned into, and probably still is, a racist bigot. Yikes. That's unfortunate.
One more TikTok from the user who helped to spread the word about Public Square. He's going to explain how this isn't necessarily a new phenomenon, specifically the tactic that conservatives are pulling off.
Public Square is basically the Green Book, but for conservatives. The Green Book was a book passed around black communities that was a list of stores and businesses that were safe for black people to use. Public Square is the same thing for conservatives. It is a website that conservatives will register their business on to show that they are anti-woke, pro-conservative, and especially pro-life. If you're like me, you'll search that and find that there are local businesses in your community that you will never shop at again. I just found out that the game store that I've been attending weekly for the past decade is a registered business on Public Square. Stay woke and be aware of the Public Square.
So to give you some additional...
Dang. The clothes on the app are wild and extremely ugly. Welcome, Narwhal. Bipedal Meatbag, welcome. I thought right-wingers hated safe spaces.
context, the Green Book was used during Jim Crow to help Black Americans avoid racist businesses when they traveled, because they needed to know where it was safe to get gas and groceries when they left their town, so that way they wouldn't unnecessarily put their families in harm's way. It was a necessity because of racism. But as that TikToker explained, conservatives created their own version of Green Book as if they're victims, when in actuality, they are the victimizers. And if they were alive during Jim Crow, Black Americans would need a Green Book to avoid people like them who think they need their own Green Book. So it's especially gross that conservatives are appropriating a piece of Black history to profit off of their victim complex. But hey, it goes both ways, right? So if they're going to appropriate Black history, we can appropriate their appropriation and weaponize it against them. So in the end, I would encourage you to use Public Square, because I think you might be surprised, or maybe not, with how many businesses in your community are paying fealty to a fascist cult leader. With that being said, if you are going to use this app or the website, reject their cookies and don't let the app track your location. I think the safest way to do it is to use a private browser or browse in incognito mode. Just don't let them track your shit.
Yep.
Either way, look, knowledge is power, and if fascists are giving us a free tool to boycott them, I think it'd be rude to not accept the gift that they're giving
Yeah,
us.
and also, like, you can just kind of get all that you need and keep that and then post it, right? I'd be shocked if I found out my game store turned out to be Frofash. Some types of stores tend to lean lefty. I think of head shops, tattoo parlors, piercing studios, but not all. Oof. Curry.
So have fun.
Woke mob. You know, this is actually fantastic. I did not know about this, and I'm glad I do now. Because I've got a feeling that there's going to be quite the amount of businesses that are going to show up. And it's good to know, at least, it's good to know where I can avoid spending money if I can. It's true. Some businesses might be using it in an attempt to push more traffic into their store. It's interesting if it does more harm than good. I would imagine, like, it's, you know, it would be doing more harm than good, because, like, especially the small businesses that rely, you know, on a loyal kind of like clientele. They would, you know, presumably like their reputation to be good. I don't like this, but your position is understandable. What do you mean? I'd love some curry to magically appear in front of me.
Donald Trump was in Michigan touting his economy, which has gone in reverse. Imagine you're driving down the road and you're going 55 miles an hour, like me, because I always maintain the speed limit. And then you jam your car into reverse. That is basically where we're at with the economy. So what do you do for your people if you don't want to talk about all the horrendous things you're doing? Doge was going to cut $2 trillion. Then they were going to cut $1 trillion. Then they were going to cut $600 billion. And then in 2026, they're going to cut, it's going to be a $150 billion cut. And I got news for you. That cut's going to be probably close to zero. In fact, if you add in what we're going to lose from the rollbacks on the staffing at the IRS.
Donald Duck, welcome. Sounds like additional unrest for really no result. If they were smart, they would have made a number of apps and sites with different names on Get Compromise, and the other ones are fine. That sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, I can do without Chick-fil-A. I can 100% do without Chick-fil-A. Look, Mrs. Truth makes fantastic fried milanesa chicken, okay? That's all I need. They got the result they wanted. It was supposed to break, and it was supposed to bring harm. Yep.
Yes. Because we know every dollar you spend there is $5 to $12 in revenue. When you cut, you're going to lose that revenue. It's probably could actually be even minus money that we lose because of Doge. And so what do? Oh, I know. Let's just throw some real red meat, brown people, into the pit for my peeps. Here we go. This is a promo video for...
Chick-fil-A tastes like gay hatred. Gaytred, there you go. Exactly. Homemade fried chicken is always better. 100%. We just got a Chick-fil-A a few months ago and the place is packed. It's also on the wrong corner of that cursed intersection, so I would likely avoid it. Yep.
Or the torture and disappearing regime that the Trump administration has started. And this is the one that I think we've even played this before. This is the one that...
Yeah, this is like fash prawn, all right? That's what this is. Is this supposed to pump people up? The right people, like if you're like a non-empathetic fascist, then yeah, this would pretty much do it. If you're a Nazi type, then yeah, this would do it. Did they think the video would make them look good? To other fascists, yeah. Yeah, this is like a fash video for fash, so. Yeah, propaganda, but like SS propaganda, basically. Yeah, this will teach that guy to never break the law again. Which law? Unclear. He had a tattoo. That's the law that he broke. Completely understandable, especially if you live like in a city that has a lot of traffic. That's I feel that. What the F is wrong with these people? They're fascists, right? Like this is the kind of stuff that they like. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Soul Life. Yeah, we can figure it after we arrest him for resisting arrest. ICE is now raiding the homes of U.S. citizens they think might be working against them. Yep. Yeah, and they think that they're like authorized to do this, right? Because like the way Trump and this administration has emboldened them, but like, yeah, not good. Not really great.
Bukele
Jessica.
made. And listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd.
Like that's the problem. Right? Like that's the issue right there. Right? That is the problem here. Is that people are cheering this shit on, right? None of those people that were whisked away in the middle of the night, that were human trafficked into El Salvador, they never had due process, okay? Like as far as we know, none of those people deserve to be there, right? Like there should be no reason why those 200 and something or however many folks should have been there, right? Like they just didn't have any kind of due process, and these Trump cultists are cheering this on like it's all good. It's horror, but not to fascists. Correct. Trump and other fascists like him are symptoms of a larger systemic problem. Well, yeah, yes. I would argue that capitalism inevitably sets the scene for something like this to happen eventually, right? Like capitalism only goes so far, and eventually, eventually someone like Trump and a fascist movement happens, right? That's just like the end game of capitalism. That's where it leads. That's where it leads us, right? You can only do illegal things if you're in power and or rich. True. The golden age. Like that's the creepy part about this whole like video, right? Like it's the amount of people cheering this on, right? Is unsettling. A Trump was inevitable under capitalism. Right, eventually. Yep. Eventually. That's the path. Series, welcome. Nadia, welcome. There has been outspoken support for mass prison rape. There has been outspoken mass support for prison rape in the U.S. for at least 30 years. The same block of people is here cheering on the Holocaust. Welcome, Nadia. Yeah, and I have family members who'd be happy to be in that crowd. I'm sorry for your loss.
I mean,
Hogs.
let's say you wanted to come up with a modern sort of like, I don't know, 60 seconds that show fascism. Just like you were going to fictionalize it. Do you think that you would show pictures of prisoners being, having their head shaved with like, a pounding music shown in front of a crowd that then starts chanting USA? I mean, honestly, I feel like if you put into AI, what would be, imagine a fascist vision of America and like a 60-second video of what that would look like.
And it would look like that because that's what it is. Like, and you can tell these people that they're fascist, right? And they won't see themselves as fascists, but they are. They are. Yeah. Hey, Siri or whatever. Well, why were the conditions right for fascism?
At a rally. Well, it'd be pretty close. Or is that just am I being hysterical?
I do think like a previous, like I don't overly look, I don't look at American history with rose-colored glasses, but I do think some sort of patriotism would have kicked in, sending people to a penal colony in Central America and using the imagery as like hype videos.
I mean,
it's so disgusting.
It's just so twisted. It's so twisted.
It is.
Oh, incidentally, remember the entire Republican Party, which at Donald Trump's behalf crushed an immigration bill that was frankly far more conservative than I would have liked. It was basically a gift to Republicans, and they quashed it because of Donald Trump. All that fascism, that's brought to you by the Republican Party. That's not just Donald Trump and Tom Homan.
Yeah, like it's not there is no good Republican. Does that make sense? Like, the saying is, right? One bad apple, right, ruins the bunch. That's the whole point. If you have a fascist movement within your party and there is no pushback, there's no fight, then you just have a fascist party. The other analogy or saying is like if you have 10 people at a table and a Nazi sits down and is allowed to sit down, then you have 11 Nazis, right? That's exactly what this is. The Republican Party is just a modern day fascist party. That's what it is. When you tell the fascists that they're being fascists, they just think you're name calling. To them, you are just a triggered lib who calls everything they don't like Hitler. Right, but like the thing is, like they are Hitler, right? They're doing the Hitler, and then like when you show a mirror to them, they're like, "Oh, that's not me." Yeah, it is. Yeah, gotta split those hairs. MAGA people are doing their best. They're not. It's not their fault they can't do better. It is. If everyone on the left pitied them both, they and we would see how weak they are and they'd lose their power. They literally want to act on their urges to hurt people because they're so weak that they can't handle anything. That's pitiful and that makes them victims of their own existence. Poor things, really. Yeah, but like they're kind of like destroying, right? Like stuff. So I just see them as like, I just see them as dangerous and traitorous. And disgusting. So like, yeah, I mean, you know, doing the salute should have been the red flag. It should have been, right? But when nobody said anything and instead defended, right, and called the left hysterical, right, over being like, hey, that's kind of like a Nazi salute, right? And you know, they instead doubled down and defended him. That's kind of like all we needed to know, right? Not that was like the defining factor. Not that there was like that was like the defining factor, but like it's kind of like there's no turning back from that. And now they're trading gold-plated trophies like effing serial killers. It's ridiculous. Trump says far left fash. For fuck's sake, you literally don't have to read past the first line of the definition to know it's far right. Pity those who hurt themselves once they hurt others. My pity is with the injured. Yeah, I mean, like, exactly. Like, I don't feel, just to be clear, like, I don't feel any sympathy for these people, right? Like, I don't feel any sympathy for any of these people. Whatsoever.
That's brought to you by the Republican Party. There was a lot of like in my mind, horrible things that Obama and Biden did on the immigration side. But that fascism, that's brought to you by the Republican Party. Super twisted. Sorry, I'm from Kansas. Somebody got a haircut looking good. I got this haircut like a week ago. Cognitive dissonant. It would be Trump flaunts his flouting of the Supreme Court. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And Bonara, can Schumer retire and nominate his fictional conservative constituents to govern on his behalf? Molly Gray.
It's okay. Schumer will just write a strongly worded letter. So much for the tolerant left, they will say. We don't tolerate intolerance. Right, like, who? I don't care. I'm past that. Look, I'm past that. To be fair. CNN are happy to say they can't figure it out if it's fascism left or right. Dana Fash said herself over the video of it's marching in Colorado. Don't do none of that woke reading nonsense unless it's my Bible.
Jedi. Sam, Trump actually thinks the letters and numbers on his fingers. He's so effing stupid. Shouldn't the cross be 3 because there were 3 crosses on that day Jesus died? I have no idea. He picked him because he thought that guy would, okay.
Just kidding. They don't read the Bible either. True.
Fabulous. You know he's serious. He's somewhat looking up. Sexually confused older Jewish woman. Chuck Schumer thinks he's penning the letter from a Birmingham jail, but it's more like the spam mail you get to discover to sign up for a new credit card.
True.
That election, because I believe RFK Sr. placed a phone call to MLK, swung the black vote in large part to the Kennedys away from Nixon. Schumer is like Nixon, sitting there not doing anything.
Yep. The mill rind. We're going to get domestic terrorism statute, not just
Oh, okay, gotcha. Bold to assume Trump can read. The German language doesn't allow any ambiguity about Musk's hand gesture. The German word for the hand gesture involved is a Hitler Grub. It's like Hitler Gruß. It's the B is like 2 S's. Gotcha. Well, the more you know. In my opinion, anyone who needs to be convinced of what's going on is the rise of fascism is a part of the problem. At this point, you have you've had to go out of your way to not see it. Right, like that's exactly my point. Right, like there is no excuse at this point. I mean, like there is literally no excuse. The only excuse you have is that you just are signing off on it, and the fascism part doesn't bother you. Right. That's it. It's plain and simple. If you support the Republican Party, if you support Trump, this is what you're supporting, and you're signing off on it. And that's it. Like, you own this. This is you.
Not the one most contemplated. Sam, serious Apple question. Do you swing with the jazz variety? I don't know that, Apple. I don't think. Sax repair.
Oh my goodness. Sam doesn't know about one particular type of Apple? He's supposed to be like the Apple guy. That's a shame. That's going to be a notch on Sam's credibility, I'm not gonna lie. Sam, you're supposed to know these things. This is like your thing, man. Centrists are integral to the rise of fascism. They are right-wing but don't like the social stigma in it, and it feels awkward. They say the same thing but try to Nazi politely. Yeah, I mean, like, right, so in the end, they're not really centrist, are they, right? Like, they just end up being fascist enablers, which is the problem here, because, like, they think that they're centrist, right? But in reality, they just act as vehicles, as portals, right, for fascism. Because if it really did, make them uncomfortable, right, watching these videos of people being whisked away and, like, waking up in concentration camps in the middle of the night, then, like, you would be like, I'm done with this. I'm clearly going to be on one side, and that's the side that's fighting against that, right? It's like that. Yeah, Sam Cedar. Pink Lady and Honeycrisp are lovely. I'm just very simple. Granny Smith apples for me. The road to atheism is littered with Bibles read from cover to cover. Centrists are right-wingers who still want to get laid.
There shouldn't be a cap at all. Agreed. Snorcerer. The only argument I can see, and I don't subscribe to it, but is that, well, there's the political argument, I guess, too. Which may be more.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the sourness, because, like, I'm not You can clip this. I'm not a sweet person, okay? And what I mean by that is I actually don't like sweets. Things that are too sweet, I just don't like. I don't like candy. I rarely eat stuff like cakes and things like that. So normally I just avoid things that are on the sweeter side. Granny Smith are good for baking because it's not too sweet and holds its shape. Gotcha. Lately I've been eating some other kind of apple. I'll look at the label, but yeah. It's okay, nobody's perfect. Bet you eat boiled unseasoned chicken. No, come on, I'm not like a monster. Okay? I'm not a monster. Boiled unseasoned chicken. The sourest apple possible for pie. I should watch you, monster. Yeah, Sam's kid is older than 2. I thought you were a real one. Boiled unseasoned chicken. Cooking apple cooking apple varieties might be what you want. They're generally more bitter and need to be cooked to release the sugars. Yeah, and I'm completely fine with just eating Granny Smith apples. Opal apples are my favorite. I haven't had those. What kind of white person shit is that? That's what the bigots should have had on Cinco de Mayo. Boiled unseasoned chicken and plain potatoes. Look, I have a very bland palate, okay? I have a very bland palate, but like that is a bridge too far, okay? That is a bridge too far. Yeah, no spice for them. I have pork carnitas smelling up the place now. Nice. Sam is 58, so he's... Whoa! Don't... Hey, man, don't do Sam like that. He's forever young in our eyes, okay? Look, Sam is forever young in our eyes. Okay? Agua frescas are good. I love agua fresca.
Compelling than the policy argument from the Democrats' perspective. There's always like, ever since like
no
even
one
20
disrespects potatoes. This Irish man won't stand for it. Look, there's nothing wrong with potatoes, okay? But you gotta put something on them. You gotta put something on them. Some salt, maybe. Some sour cream. Some bacon bits. Come on. Man is aging like fine wine. True. It's great for a dude who's going to be 60. It's actually like I thought he was younger. But like yeah. Sam is a silver fox. My mom made watermelon agua fresca. Nice. I like strawberry agua fresca. You can also do cucumber agua fresca. The left, 1 bag of unbuttered, unsalted popcorn, please. Butter and sour cream with broccoli. There you go.
It 20 years ago, they were talking about a donut hole. At that time, it was like 250 grand. To 250 grand to like 400 or something like that. Or maybe, from 120 to 250. I can't remember what the donut hole. The only thing is that the people are not going to get higher returns based upon their contributions. Your pension under Social Security increases with the amount of payments that you pay in over the lifetime. You remove the cap, you would still put a cap on payments. The theory being that you clearly have enough money and you're just putting in an insurance payment on your benefits. Now, I would also be happy with, okay, get increased benefits and we just can tax at a higher rate.
Got to make dinner. Enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Ethan Klein looks old enough to be Sam's age. Motherfucker's decaying in real time. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Being a bad human being ages you by like 20 years, okay? Or more. I don't know how old Ethan really is.
Kowalski from Nebraska. Sam, do you honestly think that Donald Trump, 6'3", 250-pound man who scored the highest on a cognitive test of any president in the last 50 years wouldn't know what a Photoshop versus non-Photoshop picture would be? Come on. He didn't even know. He doesn't even seem to know what Photoshop means. Come on, you're doing the Photoshop.
You don't Photoshop it.
Iowa Ryan. Ethan is crazy. I'm worried for you. Well, isn't that like what? Like, what do you think he's? I don't know.
That's actually a good label for it. Right wing decay. You can tell a right winger from the Crypt Keeper look. I think doing coke ages you more. Kind of funny. I'm always making dinner when you're live. Tonight it's Korean crunchy chicken and fried rice. Nice. And kimchi on the side. That's the kind of stuff like Mrs. Truth would go for. So feel free to throw her a plate.
Joe Snuffy, Sam, did you hear about how in 2 weeks it'll be too late for U.S. suppliers to order goods for Christmas? They've all paused or canceled their orders because of the tariffs, and I want to know why no one is discussing this Republican war.
Yeah, you might need to put it on a on a cooler pack. Trump probably thinks Photoshop was the old Photomat.
Christmas.
Oh, wow, good point.
I don't know when that happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's at the end of, in Q2, if you're ordering for stuff for Q4. That makes sense.
We already
to me,
won
actually.
the war on
You know,
Christmas.
in the cartoons when Wile E. Coyote's chasing Roadrunner and he goes off a cliff, but sort of just stands there because he doesn't realize he's went off the cliff yet, but then eventually he falls.
Yes.
I feel like that's where we're at.
Yes.
Shro!
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit.
That's actually a pretty good way of describing it, as someone who watched a lot of Looney Tunes. Yeah, that's actually an excellent way of describing the situation. Of how this country is going, right? Our little legs are still moving. Yep. Republican tariffs are nuking their war on Christmas. Yeah, they own gold on that one. I've seen evil people stay beautiful and good people age very prematurely. Yeah, he just needs to hold up a sign. Can YouTubers see our Twitch chats? Yes. Yes, they can. Exactly. Aging isn't uniform across all people. That's true. Is Trump Wile E. Coyote or we are? I don't know. Like, I guess, like, as us, and by us, I mean, like, just like as a country, right? Like, we're basically like Wile E. Coyote right now, right? Because Trump has, like, basically taken this country off a cliff, and the effect of this hasn't really, like, hit everyone quite yet, as a whole, right? Like, I'm saying we as a country. So yeah, I guess America is Wile E. Coyote. Elon's real company is Acme. Sourcing support. Good to see you. We see them, but we're not going to read them. Kitty's Plane, welcome. Now I'm free. Free falling. I don't read Twitch chat usually unless my name gets highlighted. It's not a conscious decision. My brain just categorizes it as spam for some reason. Right, because it doesn't show as Twitch chat, right? It just shows as Restream bot, and the people on Twitch see YouTube as Restream bot, and then, like, secondary, the name. Or are you, Wile E. Coyote, actually running at full tilt, painting at the painting of a continuing road on the cliff face? Seeing Elon get yeeted off the Tesla board would be funny. Not that it would, like, change much, but, like, it would be funny. I was lurking, but Looney Tunes entered the combo, and I could not. I saw a decent video about the carry trade and other ways the crash is working. Welcome, Kralio. He has to be eaten, or this is the new Tesla? Time for dinner. Good night. Well, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. I want to catch classic Looney Tunes now. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan, honestly. The majority of Elon's fortune is Tesla. Yep. No, I don't think it works. Or maybe it works through YouTube chat. I don't know. Like, the links here, are not working. But oh well, YouTube doesn't have that, right? Does YouTube have like a whispers thing like Twitch? I don't know. Trump is destroying a lot of wealth right now. I doubt he is long for this world unless he stops this nonsense. Yep. I mean, eventually, right? Like, or the whole thing goes down and then, like, that's that, right? Did you see the YouTube video ID? Yeah, I see that, but I don't see like the link. So maybe I can just copy paste that. Like I can see the text. Can I just search that? The censorship setting is turned up to high. It broke the channel owner's links. No, that was a conscious decision by said. Well, it should. I don't know if it's the same on YouTube, right? But like on the Twitch side, I basically disabled links. I disabled links on the Twitch side because essentially too many Nazis ruined it for everybody. So I kind of just never reverted back to that a long time ago because we had more Nazi trolls. The video ID is after the watch part. Okay, gotcha. Okay, we can just save that and I'll take a look at it. Yeah, there we go.
So now you have a party, a counterparty to the counterparty. So now you...
The repo market? Oh, no, this is something that I'm going to have to like... Oh, this is like an in-depth stuff. We actually watched the other video that you suggested the other day. Fantastic stuff. Yeah. I'm going to save this. You have to give permissions to enable links on YouTube or links are blocked by default. Gotcha. Gotcha. Let's save this. Put that on my watch later. Instructions unclear. Hand is not... Oh, wait. Instructions clear. Hand is not stuck in drawer. Nice. It's actually, I don't remember which thing I might have recommended. This one, I'll show you. I'll put it up on stream.
So now you have a party, a counterparty to the counterparty, all backed by an insurance company and the Federal Reserve as a last resort. All dependent on the belief among nations and institutions that the United States is creditworthy, the dollar is stable, and our leadership is sound.
Yeah, none of that is happening right now. I suspect that a lot of people around the world is like looking at the United States and going, nah, you know what? Maybe let's not do business with like these people. I'm surprised Trump hasn't tried to legalize selling organs and other body parts. Gotta go to sleep. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it.
In other words, an entire economy built on faith. All right, so I'm back on the financial and economic bandwagon because there's something really important that people need to understand right now. Not because there's anything you can really do about it, but because the gaslighting has already begun.
Core GDP, and this is, you probably saw some numbers today, and I have to start off by saying that's Biden. That's not Trump.
More than...
It's not me. It's not me and my policies. It's, not me. There's a different video for how the dollar is being dumped. Oh, I definitely believe it. You can post the ID so we can quick search and save it. This is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I love to watch while I'm at work. To just kind of like get a deep dive into this.
A year ago, I said that Donald Trump would destroy the economy in a second term after I read Project 2025. But I actually thought it would take a full term to do it. Now it's pretty clear that it's going to take him about 6 months.
Nice.
What made me say that last year is that it was clear he was going to enshrine his original tax cuts while gutting entitlement programs and social safety nets. So eventually he would just break the working class and
Right, like not only are you raising prices, right, with tariffs, but you're taking away like crucial support that people need, the working class needs. So like you're also starting trade wars, making us a untrusty like trading partner with our allies. I mean, like it's we're getting hit with like the good old 1, 2, 3 and lights out, right? Like he's basically, if you wanted to destroy the United States, like this is the kind of stuff you would do to break the country, right? And Trump has BDS, Biden derangement syndrome. Yep. I think he's just fully deranged.
whatever's left of the middle class. But there was something else. My central critique of Biden's bottom-up middle-out strategy was that it would take 10 years to fully realize the benefits of it by design, and that those benefits would flow largely to the corporate class, and that the working class was already in crisis. So it just wasn't adding up. But knowing that, at best, it would take 10 years to fully realize a return on investment from the Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan, then the one thing that could derail it was Trump dismantling it all. And so here we are. What I didn't bank on was the Trump economic plan that lives outside of Project 2025, this whole tariff regime nonsense. Now, I've listened to every policy rationale.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, like, Trump has been talking about tariffs, right, since, like, the 80s. He's been talking about tariffs since, like, the 80s. This is not like a Project 2025 thing. You wouldn't find it there. This is, like, literally something that Trump believes in since, like, the 80s.
They've offered, and I've come to the conclusion that this is the stupidest group of people we could possibly have in charge of the economy. The only funny thing is that even they're beginning to realize how badly they've screwed this all up. And now they're covering their tracks with yet another big lie, that it's all Biden's fault. Now, there are two things you have to do in order to sell a lie, something Trump has mastered. First, you have to believe it yourself. And second, there has to be a kernel of truth to it, no matter how small. So what's above the surface and just on the horizon is bad enough, and that's what we can see. But it's what's below the surface that has me really concerned. There's a crisis brewing in the financial markets that could be as catastrophic, if not more so, than the Great Recession.
That's cool. You know, that's cool. The dollar dump video got it. Okay, awesome. I'm going to save that. I think it should be right here. Is it this one?
Donald Trump has made it clear that one of his top goals is to maintain the global dominance of the US dollar.
Yeah, okay, got it. This one's it. I'm going to save this one too. Look at that. New analysis from NBC News shows Trump has spoken about former President Biden or his family or his administration 508 times in public remarks or on social media posts since he took office. Mind you, he's been in office for 100 days. Just shy of that. It's from Navarro. Project 2025 is an isolationist, their claim, but the America First organization is, and they're in bed with the Heritage Foundation. That makes sense. Trump is deranged and Biden lives rent-free in his head. Whew. All right, folks, we got a couple of articles to go through. So Biden's Great Rescue Plan wasn't going to benefit the working class. Well, in 10 years, yeah. In 10 years, yeah. Bad Lefty, welcome. I don't know if I said hi. I can't remember. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp passes on running for Senate. So that's good. That's good. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp will not run for Senate in 2026, putting an already competitive seat up for grabs. The popular Republican would have been a prime recruit against first-term Democratic Senator John Ossoff. I think the person who's trying to run now is Marjorie Taylor Greene. So hopefully, she does about as good as I think she will do, which is not very good. Elections have never been anything but rigged shams, pretty close to ever. Isn't MTG running for Senate? Yes. I've decided that being on the ballot next year is not the right decision for me and my family. I spoke with President Trump and the Senate leadership earlier today and expressed my commitment to work alongside them to ensure that we have fascism. Got it. MTG will most likely win. You think so? It is Georgia. That's a good point, but like also I don't know if she has like I don't know if she has it in the bag. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misjudging here. I don't know. The Hogs will come out for her. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Rome, Georgia is her base. She can't win outside of her plus 30 red district. I mean, like that's my preliminary assumption. That's like my primary like default assumption. I mean we could be wrong, but that's exactly like my kind of primary original thinking. Dude just said it benefited corporations and in 10 years, not us. Scrub back to confirm. Oh, oof. And, my bad. Oof. Thanks, Biden. Without Kemp in the race, Republicans may face an unpredictable primary that could include divisive candidates like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Kemp's decision was a letdown for Republicans in both Washington and in Georgia. It's like, wow, not necessarily the news we wanted to hear, said former Cobb County GOP chair. So that's good. That's good. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I hope you're right for that. We'll get her out of the house. Yep. I mean, I hope. I'm with you. I hope so. And the fact that like the chair is kind of freaking out is a good sign. Kemp is the top choice. Yeah, and since he's not running, maybe this is a good sign. Maybe this is good. Kemp had been seen by many Republicans as the strongest opponent to put up against Ossoff. An Atlanta Journal-Constitution poll last week showed Kemp and Ossoff within the polls margin of error. President Trump carried the state about 2 percentage points in November, and it's a top target of Republicans. Obviously, we're disappointed, said Senate Majority Leader Tom Thune. He would have been a great candidate, but I've said all along the seat's going to be competitive, and the good news is there's lots of interest. Kemp's decision comes after Ossoff's last month reported raising $11 million in the first quarter of the year, an enormous sum for a Senate incumbent in an off year. Democrats were taking a victory lap after Kemp decided not to run. Brian Kemp's decision to not run for Senate is yet another embarrassing Republican Senate recruitment failure, said Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee Communications Director Maeve Coyle. Senate Republicans' toxic agenda and recruitment failures put their majority at risk in 2026. Kemp and Raffensperger are top two. Every time Marjorie Taylor Greene speaks, an angel contracts dysentery. Didn't MTG have not real opposition? I don't know how her race went, but like, I'm assuming, I mean, like, again, I could be wrong, and like we end up with like Senator Marjorie Taylor Greene. So yeah. My sister lives in Rome. Bless her heart. Oof. Hard to know how to feel about all this. Do you hope for an incompetent fascist or a competent fascist to potentially win? That's a good question. I mean, I always err on the one that would most likely fall on their face. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, I wouldn't try to prop up, you know, either way, but if I was secretly, you know, behind closed doors, trying to pick my opponent, I would want the one that would have the most chance of losing, right? Senator MTG is how we get President MTG in 11 years. Oh, good Lord. You know, that she would be like that lady from, we just watched Elysium. We just watched Elysium. Like, she would be the president in Elysium. Elections are rigged shams. The coup regime has declared its intention to seize control of electoral machinery. It's all a foregone conclusion. Trump has talked about that. You assume we still have elections by then? Yeah, I'm operating under that assumption. Bipedal. I'm operating under that assumption. Not a great thought to think about President Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oof. The Senate map otherwise looks favorable to Republicans, with few incumbent GOP senators facing tough races. Democrats, meanwhile, have seen several senior senators retire this cycle, including New Hampshire and Michigan. While John Ossoff is running to impeach President Trump, Republicans have a strong number of stronger candidates who can build a winning coalition to add this seat to President Trump's majority. It said National Republican Senatorial Committee Communications Director Joanna Rodriguez. Kemp's decision leaves the open possibility of a presidential campaign in 2028. Shepard said Kemp in recent months have been crisscrossing the state for bill signings and utilizing his office to continue to get a positive name out there. I was an educated woman in that film. MTG is not that. True. That's a good point. George Waters, welcome. You guys watch Elysium? I love that movie. I should probably get on the Discord bandwagon. You can. It's free. You can. Whenever. I'll join if we can watch Freddy Got Fingered. I naively believe the military will support the Constitution, not a president attempting to do away with the Constitution when push comes to shove. I mean, like, I would like to believe that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be with you. So unless it becomes like way more obvious that it's not happening, then like I'll be a little bit more panicky. But like I'm with you, okay? I'm with you, Wolfglen. I would like to imagine and hope and pray and manifest into the universe that the military, when push comes to shove, will support the Constitution. There'll be a lot of military going to prison. Yep. I mean, like, but like, okay, is that what? Like, that's. I don't think that. I don't think that would be favorable to the regime. Civil War II Electric Boogaloo. Oh, good lord! I don't even want to think about that. Dollar General is now selling frozen grilled cheese sandwiches that you can cook by microwaving them and then putting them into the toaster. Are they good? I want to believe that, but I don't know. Like, me neither, but like I'm just I'm just going to presume that that more of the military than not is going to support the Constitution. I don't have confidence in the U.S. military. People have been ringing the alarm bells for 20 plus years about people who are definitely fascists getting through and being protected from ejection. Read about ghost skins of fashion white supremacists who forego getting tats so that they can pass through unseen. I'm sure they have like a problem, but like in the broader scheme of things, like, you know, the military has been a magnet for hordes of white supremacists and crystal fascists. With the crusade Bush Jr. launched against Islam, the military does not have your understanding of the Constitution. I mean, it could be the case. Like, it could be the case that, like, I may be naively putting stock into that, but you know. These guys and gals care more about loyalty than law. Civil War II cruise control. Y'all do Saturday movie nights? Yeah, we do. We do. This damn nasty fire hazard looks like one bread cut in half. I'm hoping it does. Good luck, Soul Life. I saw a guy deep fry a hot pocket and raved about it. Yep, join the Discord. Diving more into the insanity, Trump said he will reopen Alcatraz for the most ruthless and violent prisoners. I thought he wanted to ship them off to El Salvador. President Trump said he's ordering federal agencies to rebuild and reopen Alcatraz, a notorious maximum security prison that closed more than 60 years ago. I'm directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. Sure. The U.S. military is chock full of Christo-fascists designed to participate in the final battle of Armageddon. Oh, I suspect that there's definitely those folks in there. Air fryers. I've had some stuff air fried. It's not that bad. Isn't it a museum now? It's supposed to be, or was. It says to nuke for 30 seconds and then toast on medium. What magic is this? That would cost billions to rehab it and reopen it. Efficiency. The epitome of efficiency. Doesn't NYC own Alcatraz? Good question. Good for Gabby. Welcome. The theory I've seen is that a movie about Alcatraz was on TV in Florida the other night, and then Trump comes out with this. You know, I would literally buy that theory, okay? You have to move all the building supplies from the shore to the island. Jesus. Yeah, the epitome of efficiency. Remember Mike Flynn, the former general, going around touring the Christian rock circuit to blather about Christo fascism. His brother is still serving admiral and every bit the Christo fascist. Yikes. Oof. Alcatraz is so old and out of date, it would be a nightmare to refurbish. Yeah, but you know, efficiency. The historic former U.S. penitentiary Alcatraz opened in 1934 is widely known as The Rock. Its building dominate the craggy landscape of Alcatraz Island, which is 1.5 miles north of San Francisco's famed Fisherman's Wharf. Alcatraz once housed dangerous criminals such as the infamous mobster Al Capone, under an incarceration strategy that sought to concentrate difficult prisoners in one facility, segregating from less dangerous inmates in the prison system. Trump's message suggests that he wants to restore Alcatraz to its original dual purpose. The twin goals for building the original prison, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, were to deal with the most incorrigible inmates in federal prison and to show the law-abiding public that the federal government was serious about stopping rampant crime in the 1920s and 1930s. Yes. Because locking people up is how you deal with crime. Okay, back to YouTube's. It costs 3 times per prisoner what any other prison would cost. Right, efficiency. It's owned by the National Park Service. Big Dachau energy. So I don't have a toaster, but I have a box of microwave fries. Come in, so it's a special metal interior meant to make the fries crispy and works rather well. I cooked the grilled cheese in that. I mean, same concept. He wants the notoriety of the name Alcatraz inherently has to make him seem more badass than he really is. As I recall, there were people put in Alcatraz that were just some guy because why not? Because they didn't believe lynching was a crime. It also only held like 300 people. Trump's message is that he suggests he wants to restore... Oh yeah, we already read this. Rebuild and reopen Alcatraz, said the president. The reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law and order and justice. Trump did not provide details about a timeline for reopening the prison. When asked for comment, the Department of Interior and National Park Service referred NPR to the president's statement. Asked on Monday about his idea to reopen Alcatraz, Trump replied, I guess I was supposed to be a movie maker. A movie maker noted in the prison's long history. It represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order, and adding that no one ever successfully escaped from the prison. So yeah, I think what somebody in the chat says probably true. So yeah, he's gonna lock up Hannibal Lecter there. Enacting the Trump's proposal would come with steep price tag, both for constructing and operating a new prison facility on an island where most plentiful natural resources is sandstone. Trumpetraz. This this is prison grilled cheese. Dollar General should be charged with theft and outlawed. Oh, it's bad. Oof. Alcatraz was shuttered because the institution was too expensive and continued to operate. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It said operating the island prison was nearly 3 times more expensive than any other federal prison at the time, which somebody mentioned in chat. This isolation meant that everyone, food, supplies, water, fuel had to be brought to Alcatraz by boat. For example, the island had no source of fresh water, so nearly 1 million gallons had to be barged into the island each week. If the Trump administration tries to rebuild the prison on the island, historian Jolene Babcock says it will need to solve long-running infrastructure challenges. My reaction was 2 words: water and sewage. Those are 2 reasons why it would be impractical to restore the facility to a working prison. All of the sewage in those days was dumped in the bay, she said, and the years when hundreds of inmates and staff lived on the island, so that is a problem. In movies and on TV, Alcatraz gained a mythical air. It was depicted as being full of the country's worst criminals, offering harsh conditions and virtually no hope of escape, surrounded by cold and treacherous waters. The reality is more complex. For one thing, Alcatraz was pretty small, averaging 260 to 275 inmates, less than 1% of the total federal prison population at the time, according to the Prison Bureau. And while it was designated around strict rules, the penitentiary's reputation was more nuanced. Many prisoners actually considered the living conditions, for instance, always 1 man to a cell, at Alcatraz to be better than other federal prisons, and several inmates actually requested a transfer to Alcatraz. The prison staff lived on the island with their families, children, and ferried to San Francisco on school days. Those children, including Babiak, who grew up to become a historian, studying the island prison where she once lived due to her father's work as an administrator there. The food was excellent. Everybody bragged about it, she tells NPR, noting that an early warden at the prison had prioritized the use of promise of good food as a way to motivate inmates to follow the rules. Alcatraz is creepy, you leave feeling hollow and sad. I paid $3 for this BS sandwich. Oof. Trump doesn't care about the environment, so raw sewage from the Alcatraz dumping into the water is of no concern. True. The cost of food is BS. The penitentiary did hold infamous criminals such as Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly. Is that where, like, the artist got their name? Alvin Karpis and Arthur Doc Barker. While some inmates were sent to Alcatraz because they were considered dangerous and escape risk, others were spent shorter stints at the highly structured prison. One prison official felt a man no longer posed a threat and could follow the rules, usually after an average of 5 years on Alcatraz. The prison bureau says he then could be transferred to another federal prison to finish the sentence and be released. So yeah, I mean, like, this is just nonsense. I just want to know how they took 1 slice of bread and cut it into 2. Navy shelled Alcatraz in 46. $20 billion. Yeah, the definition of efficiency. BRB, no problem. Is reopening Alcatraz government efficiency? It's the epitome of government efficiency. Wasting billions, tens of billions of dollars to open a prison on an island where they have to ferry all the resources. Yep. The U.S. offers a $1,000 stipend to encourage migrants to self-deport. Like, I wonder what the people that are saying that they're illegal aliens are getting like federal money. I wonder what like those people are saying about this. Is Trump golfing 3 days every week government efficiency? The picture of government efficiency. Trump's dirty little secret is that he's a paper tiger. He's all bark and no bite. I mean, like, yeah, he's a narcissistic bully. So yeah, but it's not just him. It's not just him. The Trump administration will offer a $1,000 stipend and travel assistance to migrants who electively voluntarily self-deport. The stipend and potential airfare for migrants who voluntarily depart would cost less than actual deportation. Wait, what? The average cost of arresting... oh, I see. The arresting, detaining, and deporting someone without legal status is $17,000. President Trump, a Republican, took office in January pledging to deport millions of people, but so far has trailed his deportation under his Democratic predecessor, Joe Biden. Biden's administration faced high levels of illegal immigration and quickly returned many caught crossing the border. The Trump administration has deported 152,000 people since January 20th, lower than the 195. That's cool. The stipend is a honeypot. Yeah, could be. Trump administration has tried to encourage migrants to leave voluntarily by threatening steep fines, trying to strip away legal status, and deporting migrants to notorious concentration camps in Guantanamo Bay and El Salvador. If you are here illegally, self-deportation is the best, safest, and most cost-efficient way to leave the United States to avoid arrest. I mean, these people are gross, man. These people are gross. In March, the administration launched a rebranded app called CBP Home to facilitate self-deportation. The app, previously called CBP One, was used by the Biden administration to allow migrants to enter the U.S. legally. Trump previewed the stipend plan in April, saying U.S. would consider allowing migrants to return. If they're good, we want them back in. We're going to work with them to get them back in as quickly as we can. But, like, what is the point of that? You know, shouldn't we have, like, due process? Did Elon's AI approve these expenditures? Probably. How are they going to pay for travel? The only piece you're cutting out is the catch and process. Why does that cost so much? Probably because of like lawyers and then like the facilities, operating costs of facilities and the courts and like all this other stuff. How would they even claim the money? I doubt they'll just hand you a stack of bills and getting onto the plane. This is the same as the retirement thing Doge offered. The people who left never really got that money. Yeah, that's a good point. In the announcement on Monday, DHS said people who chose to leave may help preserve the ability to return legally, but did not cite any specific pathway or program. Yeah, I mean, like, that doesn't matter, right? Like, just understand that these people, like, don't care, and they hate you, okay? They hate you because of you're brown. That's it. And even legal immigrants, okay? They hate. Yeah, don't trust a man who doesn't pay his bills regularly. That will offset the billions they earmarked for ICE employees' 40K bonus this year. But they are here legally. Yeah, and that doesn't really... That doesn't really matter. The immigration advocacy group Make the Road in New York criticized the stipend program and said migrants considering the offer should consult with an attorney. Natalia Aristasabal, the group's deputy director, called the program cruel and misleading and said the Trump administration failed to note the barriers that many migrants would face to return to the U.S. So yeah, I mean it's a honeypot. Be very wary about this stuff. They're literally doing the meme. Florida wants minors to replace the migrant labor. They started rolling back child labor laws, but they're so worried about protecting kids, right? Yep. Think of the children has always been BS, to be honest, and I'm a parent. Yep. Apparently, Rite Aid is laying off 97% of staff due to tariffs. That tracks. Rite Aid was already doing not great. So I can imagine, the tariff situation kind of blowing them out of the water. That kind of tracks. Wary is like wear clothes. Is it wary? Weary? No, weary is tired. Wary. I think the one by my mom's had an ice cream counter on it. Nice. Gone are those days. I can't see the Twitch chat? No? Yeah, weary is tired. Wary, W-A-R-Y, is, cautious. There you go. Will someone please think of the children was a meme so old that it was in The Simpsons. How have people not learned by now? Yep. I mean, I can see YouTube chat and I can see Twitch chat, and it seems like you guys can see each other. Last time this happened, there was an issue on the bot side, but I'm looking at it. It seems like it's okay. Give me 1,000, I'll deport myself. No, but that's nothing. First of all, that's nothing. Second of all, you won't get that money. Third of all, I mean, how much money is it gonna take to like rebuild? I mean, it's all just like nonsense. I still can't see the Twitch chat. That's unfortunate. Is this happening to anyone else? Wait, Heat, can you see YouTube chat? Well, I'm chatting, but can you see YouTube chat on Twitch? Or Twitch chat on YouTube, I guess? I've got a couple of strikes against me that would make me a target for deportation. Yeah, I mean... I fit the description, so yeah. I can see Twitch. Okay. And I can see YouTube. Okay. The Restream bot does not work on YouTube iPhone apps. Oh, okay. So is that why? That's unfortunate. Nothing of value is posted in Twitch chat anyways. No, maybe nothing of value by you, but Twitch chat does post some very valuable. This Twitch chat is fine. This is probably just a troll. I see everything. Okay, so I don't know. I guess it might just be like an iPhone thing. My case would be despite me being chalk white. Oof. That's quite the rap sheet. Maple takes the jab. Denims. Oof. Bonzilla, welcome. Came in at the last moment. Yeah. Complain about this in a painfully incompetent rap by Tom McDonald. If Zach banned you, you must be insufferable. Yep. No, I mean, Mouselander usually is able to chat. I don't know why, what's going on with that. I don't know. In any case, food is just about, it was just about to be ready, so I gotta get out of here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys hanging out in chat. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you guys. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back tomorrow at around 5 p.m. Eastern. The Hispanic part can be used against me despite my being Criolla. True. I feel that good for Gabby. Yeah, it is quite the rap sheet. If you guys want to support the channel, keep doing what you're doing, folks. Keep liking the stream, subscribing. If you're on the Twitch, hit that follow button. It really does help us out. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday around 5 p.m. Eastern time. This Wednesday, I should be doing the left past 10. And this Thursday, I might just take that day off. So no stream that Thursday. So just keeping that in mind. Join the Discord if you want to keep up with the channel. Okay, do all the things. We do movie nights. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Thank you, Saris. Add a little spice to your life. Cholula is a good starter. Oof. Oof. Ground level news. If you want to support the channel directly, consider checking out the merch store and hitting !tip. I appreciate it. Thank you, Michael Hasser. Thank you, Heat, for modding the chat. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow at around 5 p.m. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow around 5 p.m. Eastern time. See ya. Thank you, Ladybug. Yeah, give yourself a break. I am. I'm tired, boss. Appreciate that, Kitty Splain. All right, folks, hang tight. I really like this song. It's the Underdogs. ADT's drummer. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.